so it looks like YouTube's going. So let me see. Yep, YouTube is going. Alright guys, I'm checking the other channels. We will get rolling momentarily. Facebook did not want to work. Wonder why. Okay, let's make sure we got the right stream key. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, Facebook looks to be going now. Let's see what's up with Instagram. Let me try this again. Let's make sure we have the right key. It is possible that the key didn't save when I updated it earlier. But you know, these things happen, so we're just rolling with it. Alright, let's see if it starts now. Okay, so we look like we're good. Let me just double check here. Yep, we have the usual have my face in Instagram. I don't know how to change that to get it to be, oh, there's my whole face. Okay, alright, well, sort of anyway. Alright, I'm gonna toy with this just a little bit. That seems to be worse. Let me see if I do that, if it gets better. Nope, it doesn't. It's just gonna be persnickety today. Alright, let me take one more shot at it. Whoop, it's about to fall off. That's not good. Okay. Okay, let's keep fighting with it here for just another moment. Alright, I'm just gonna go with that because I don't want to spend a half hour fighting with it. Let me flip it around one more time here. Okay, let's look at Facebook while I give Instagram a minute to do its thing. Okay, Facebook is fine. Facebook is always fine. Instagram is just tough because it does it in the other format. It's meant more for my phone. Actually, let me try something really crazy here. Okay, it's just going to be what it's going to be. Sorry about that, guys, but I will try to research it so it's better next week. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot this week, but we do have some anniversaries to celebrate. As you know, on October 1st, Magic Kingdom started a new year, finished a trip around the sun and started a new one, and so did Friend Like Me Travel Company. So congratulations to both of those companies on there, closing another year and starting the next one. It's always good when that happens. Always good. All right, so we have a little bit. We have a couple deals going on. There is a deal on a 4-night, 4-day room and ticket package. It runs Sunday, if your trip runs Sunday to Thursday. It's for 2026, February 22nd to July 25th. Now, it's not going to be every night, Monday through Thursday, but it's going to be most of those. And you can save $150 per night from January 4th to February 19th. Same thing, 4-day park tickets, 4-day hotel, and it's Sunday through Thursday. So, also there is a Visa card member deal. I know we haven't had one of those in a bit. You can book a cruise on the Disney Wish, Disney Dream, Disney Magic, or Disney Fantasy on select dates and receive a $250 onboard credit. This offer is combinable with the categories with restrictions offer and the 50% off third and fourth guest offer. This offer is valid on select October, November, and December 2025 dates. Book now through December 1st. So if you're thinking very merry time, if you're thinking Halloween on the high seas, you want to take advantage of that discount of 50% off the third and fourth guest, and you want to put it on your Disney Visa card, you can do that. Get your onboard credit. Take home some cruise merch, have a nice meal. Um, there's all kinds of things you can do with that onboard credit. Okay, Universal unveiled some of their Christmas stuff for 2025. Earl the Squirrel is back. They're still doing Christmas at Hogwarts. So that's all the projections and the cool stuff on the castle. Um, they still have Christmas in the City. And they will be once again doing the parade floats and balloons from the Macy's Day Parade. And of course, because it's Universal, there'll be Grinch activities. The Who's will be wandering around in their holiday attire in Seuss Landing. You can do breakfast with the Grinch. There's lots of really cool holiday stuff you can do. And it's not too late to plan a holiday trip. You can do a package. If you're local, you can just do Florida resident tickets. Um, and there is of course always the theory that you can combine your Disney and Universal trip. I've done it. Worked flawlessly when we did it. We started at Universal, so we went from the airport to Universal. We took a shuttle from Universal to Disney. I think we were staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge that year. Um, And actually, we used to, when we traveled, we would stay three different places because I had a favorite spot, my son had a favorite spot, and my husband had a favorite spot, and they were all different hotels. So we would usually break our trip up amongst at least two of them, if not three. Um, oh, and it looks like Instagram finally has like most of my face in it. Awesome! Awesome. I thought maybe if I left it alone, it would figure itself out. See, sometimes that works. It doesn't always, but sometimes it does. So today it worked. Yay me! Um, So that's also something you can do as a split stay. Don't forget, you can also do, if you're doing Disney or Universal, you can do Land and Sea, and you can throw a theme park excursion on the beginning or the end of your cruise. That's what we technically call Land and Sea, because you're spending part of your time on land and part of your time in the sea. Um, Always reminds me of Surf and Turf in the restaurant. It's sort of the same thing. You get to do both in one adventure. Adventure is a good word for it. So, there's always that. Um, it's not too early to start thinking about spring break. I know spring break is 5 to 6 months out, depending on when your school system does it, but most people book their trips around the 6 month mark. So it's not too soon to start thinking about it, especially if you're traveling with friends or family that you're going to see during the holiday season. It's not too early to start the conversation and maybe finish it around the table and then book your adventure. Um, all right, so I'm going to give you, I promised you a good tip this week. Um, Always make sure somebody else has your travel information. A neighbor, a family member, a friend, somebody that knows where you're going to be and when you're going to be there, because God, goodness knows things get lost. Your phone could get broken and everything's on your phone and then you can't get to anything. Maybe you don't have a laptop with you, um, or another device that you can use instead. Even if somebody just has like your confirmation numbers for your flights and your hotel, you don't have to give somebody everything. It depends on the person, but having somebody you can call to get that information if something happens to your device, your luggage gets stolen, it's in your park bag disappears, ladies, it's in your purse, and if something happens to your purse, or you do what I did and I leave it at security for an hour. um, I was a very nervous traveler when the TSA implemented the new guidelines. I got pre-check, and it was amazingly helpful for me. It really reduced my stress levels. Um, could also be the fact that When we did it in Colorado, I sat in the wrong spot to I sat down in the wrong spot to put my shoes on, and I was pregnant. No, it was in Colorado. It was Vegas. Um, and of course, the security guy's like, "Don't sit there," which kind of freaked me out a little bit. So that didn't help. But pre-check has been a wonderful addition to my travel essentials. I know it's not for everybody. I know it's not always worth it, but I find it a very well um, spent chunk of change to invest in it. Um, Although I do know they're also changing some of the regulations, so that's also. I think they're looking at just letting you leave your shoes on. I read that somewhere, but I don't think anything official has been out yet. So don't quote me on that, but they might be making some changes. Um, so yeah, make sure somebody else has your info. You know, your sister, your friend, doesn't have to be anybody local to you necessarily, but somebody you trust should have at least the basic pieces to get you where you need to go during your trip if you have an issue. Um, Investigate, pre-check, or clear is the other one. I know there are a couple. It's not just pre-check. There are a couple other options. You might want to investigate one of them. Might even be something if if you travel for your company, they might be willing to split the cost with you or absorb the cost. Um, but even though I only travel once or twice a year, I find it well worth the money to do that. If you're traveling with littles, there are lots of things in the airport that will entertain them. There are also lots of things in the airport that are probably not going to entertain them. I'm thinking like the skincare vending machines and that kind of stuff. Keep some snacks handy because there are limited snacks in the airport, but you can't guarantee you're going to get goldfish or Cheez Its or whatever their favorites are. So um, grab some snack size plastic baggies and throw some snacks in there. You know, two or three per kid, depending on the length of your flight, maybe more. Um, but just having something handy to give them is great. Keep some wipes handy for those fingers after you give them goldfish and Cheez-Its and things that turn your skin funny colors, like orange. Mainly just so that they don't get it all over you. Um, Trust me, I've done that one a couple times. Um, so yes, snacks. If you can do it, try to bring a water bottle or a sippy cup for them, and then fill it after you go through security. Um, just because it'll save you a little money. It'll keep them off the sugar rush for a while, and you'll be able to fill it quickly and get them what they need as opposed to having to stand in the food lines, which sometimes they're empty. Sometimes they're like four people deep. I haven't figured out. And I'm not talking like the main eating area. Like I'm thinking of Orlando, and they have like that big food court. I'm thinking like the little stands that are between the gates. When you're through security and you're ready to, sit by your gate and wait. Um, of course, there are plenty of other non-food things you can take for them. Sticker books, coloring books, crowns, the Crayola Wonder markers that only color on the book are a good choice. Um, and of course, you can take technology, iPads, and all that kind of stuff. But um, they also Michael's used to have, I think they called them grab and go packs, and they had different characters, but it was like a couple crowns and something to color on and some stickers. Um, and I think they used to be in the bargain bins by the front. I haven't been to Michael's in years because my son is now an adult. But we used to pick up that kind of stuff for him all the time when he was little. And I bet they still make something like that. If they don't, you might be able to make a version of it yourself, which is some coloring sheets or a coloring book that you take a couple pages out of and a couple crowns and a couple stickers. Um, just some food for thought because there's not a whole lot of the travel news this week is kind of leaking out slowly. Some weeks we have a lot of stuff, some weeks we have less, but this week was a lighter week, so I wanted to give you guys some other information because I want you to tune in and I want you to come not only to hear what's going on, but I also want you to feel like you leave a little smarter. You got a travel tip, you got some thoughts. I try to give you as much value as I can in my 15 minutes or so. All right, so we made it to Friday this week. We're going to make it to Friday next week. I want everybody to have a great week ahead, and I will see you all next Friday at 4. And of course, if I can help you with anything in the meantime, questions, quotes, ideas, suggestions, you name it, just message me and I will get back to you. And we can start a conversation and see where it goes. Have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Bye.